Ladies and gentlemen, let us call a spade and not a big spoon. William Samoei Arap Ruto, the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya, has actually kicked Raila Amolo Odinga out of his position as the African Union High Representative for Infrastructure. In this video, I want to explain to you guys why William Ruto had to kick Raila Amolo Odinga out of that position. I've actually seen the letter by the Secretariat, which was dated on the 19th. Where's that letter? I've just seen the letter. Yeah, the letter to Raila Amolo Odinga by Musa Faki Mahamat, which says, just briefly, the first or two paragraph, it is my distinct honor to write to you with regard to your mandate as the African Union High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa. Your exceptional leadership and unique command of the issues concerned has been crucial to the leveraging of infrastructure as a key priority within the continental agenda. Now, your role in this journey, Your Excellency, has been invaluable. Allow me to express my profound gratitude for accepting to serve. So basically, this letter is notifying Raila Amolo Odinga that his services has been terminated. This letter was dated on the 19th of February. Then after the information leaked out, Raila Amolo Odinga responded. I don't know why they were doing this to Musa Faki Mahamat, but they used Raila Odinga's Secretariat letterhead. Ideally, this should have been from the letterhead of the African Union. And again, I don't understand why they would do this just when this matter had been a subject of discussion in the country. I don't know what they were trying to justify, but let us face the truth. This was expected. Raila Amolo Odinga has been fired by William Samoei Arap Ruto. Let me demonstrate to you why. If you go to let me just get it, yeah, because I don't want to really go to a bit of editing. You know, I have a bit of challenge currently. If you go to this lady called Nados Bekele Thomas on his Twitter, this lady is the executive director of African Union Development Agency, NEPAD, which has now replaced the role Raila Odinga was playing. If you go to her Twitter handle, on the 16th day of January, I want you to pay very close attention. On the 16th day of January, this is what she posted. This morning, maybe they omitted something. I had the pleasure to engage Right Honorable Raila Odinga, the African Union High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa. We deliberated upon a broad range of issues, critical amongst which is the forthcoming Dhaka Financing Summit and the 5% investment agenda. This lady is talking of the Dhaka Financing Summit. You all know the Dhaka Financing Summit, which Raila Odinga was actually supposed to be the host. Then, on the 19th day, if you go to the same lady's Facebook page, Twitter, on the 19th day, because she met Raila on the 16th. Now, on the 19th day of January, this is what she posted. I am incredibly honored to have had the privilege to meet His Excellency President William Ruto to present the work of NEPAD agency and seek his wisdom and guidance as a distinguished member of the Head of States and Government Orientation Committee and as a champion of African youth. If you listen to this, tone of this, probably there's a lot of things which are being left out. The issue of the Dhaka Summit. But it is at this meeting where Raila Odinga's fate was actually sealed. This lady came into the country to meet Raila Amolo Odinga to discuss with him the issue of the Dhaka Summit. Raila Odinga was supposed to be the host of that Dhaka Summit. Then, after this meeting, Dhaka Summit took place. William Ruto attended the Dhaka Summit. Raila Odinga never attended that summit. And I was with a group of my friends, and we discussed that issue. That probably either Ruto frustrated Raila Odinga's trip to that place, or something was just amiss. So this can explain to you that indeed, William Ruto kicked Raila Odinga out of this. Because remember, Raila Odinga was actually appointed by Uhuru Kenyatta. But the question is, why would William Ruto kick Raila Odinga out of this role which he was playing? Because this is an international role, continental role. Why would he kick Raila Odinga out? It's because of politics. Let me explain to you guys. Number one, Raila Odinga made a trip to South Africa. And then he made another trip to Nigeria. What do you think happened in South Africa and in Nigeria? The understanding within William Ruto's circles was that Raila Odinga was actually using his position as the high representative for Africa or for infrastructure to consolidate his position on Kenyan election. While in Nigeria, Raila Odinga actually gave a lecture on how elections were stolen in the country. Do you think William Ruto would be happy, man, that the high representative for infrastructure in Africa can go to a forum and discredit his victory? He cannot allow that. Then Raila Odinga went to South Africa. In South Africa, he also had meetings. Then he also went and held and actually visited or was hosted by the president of South Africa himself at his residence. William Ruto had gone to South Africa. He never had that privilege. Raila Odinga went to South Africa. He had the privilege. What information do you think these guys were processing in their minds? So those two trips is what has led to the removal of Raila Odinga as the high representative for infrastructure in Africa. I know most of you guys are watching these videos, but you are yet to subscribe. If you are not yet subscribed, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button, so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Let us proceed. The second reason why Ruto has kicked Raila Odinga out of this job is because he wants to reduce Raila Odinga's international network and influence. You know, let me just give you the perspective. As the High Representative for Africa Union on matters infrastructure, Raila Odinga was able to interact freely with ministers across the continent. He was able to freely interact with the heads of state. In fact, Raila Odinga visiting a country in his capacity as the high representative means he's a high-level diplomat. William Ruto would not want that. Raila Odinga was making more friends who are going to be able to help him fundraise for his campaigns. Raila Odinga was, through this just networking, he was making more international friends. William Ruto would want a situation where Raila Odinga does not really have international influence. For example, when Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta were pictured, I think, was it in Egypt? Or where was it? I think either it was in Egypt, some summit there, African Union summit. Raila Odinga was there, Uhuru Kenyatta was there, several heads of states were there. Raila Odinga was freely talking with these guys. I think that was 2 years ago. Do you think William Ruto, as the sitting president of the country, who does not really have, in quotes, the kind of international networks which Raila Odinga enjoy, would be comfortable? Like, for example, if we were to attend that summit in Dakar, and Raila Odinga is the host, you know, William Ruto cannot allow that to happen. So William Ruto wants to reduce Raila Odinga's international network. Number 3, William Ruto is also sending a coded message to Uhuru Kenyatta that I am the one who has appointed you to the position of that peace envoy, just like you appointed Raila Odinga. I'm firing Raila. If you joke, you are next. Because remember, William Ruto has been under a lot of pressure from his team to actually fire Uhuru Kenyatta. So he's sending him a message. The next person they are likely to fire is Uhuru Kenyatta, because the other time you read or you heard that Uhuru Kenyatta could not travel to, I think, one of the meetings in DRC peace deal, which really pissed off some head of states because William Ruto refused to facilitate some members of his staff. So he's sending a message to Uhuru. Number 4, in my view, William Ruto is also keen on crippling Raila Odinga's financial muscle. There's a fear in William Ruto's camp that there is no way Raila Odinga can manage to sustain campaigns in this country, 4 or 5 of them, without much impact on his ability to run another campaign. The Dakar Summit, the position as the High Representative for Africa, had placed Raila Odinga in a position where he was able to even cut deals. The Inga Dam, which is supposed to be one of the biggest hydroelectric projects in the world, was going to be constructed under the watch of Raila Odinga. So it means the contractors there, the companies who are going to deal with it, any discussion about it, Raila Odinga was going to be at the center. Such kind of deals can lead, if you get only 0.1%, you can easily run a presidential campaign in the country. So the truth is, a scheme to cripple Raila Odinga's financial muscle is part of the deal. The 5th reason why Ruto has decided to remove Raila Odinga is because of Raila Odinga's anti-government demos. He's reacting. Okay, you think you are wise? I'm going to show you who I am. So he has fired Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga had planned to go to Dakar, not gone. He had planned maybe other things, not done. Now, go ahead with your demos. In fact, if you read Raila Odinga's response, which I'll do a critical analysis about it, because I'm actually pissed off that letter ought not to have been written, they are suggesting that he has decided to resign because of other more pressing issues. Raila Odinga campaigned as a presidential candidate, and he was still serving as the High Representative for Africa for infrastructure. And I also tend to think, number 6, that Ruto is actually provoking Uhuru Kenyatta, or maybe just revoking Uhuru Kenyatta's appointments. Inside the country here, all appointees of Uhuru Kenyatta are being kicked out. I just saw the Director General of KRA has resigned. All of them are resigning, are being forced out of office. Ruto is doing that. Raila was Uhuru Kenyatta's appointee. He has also been shown the door. And lastly, it's all about legitimacy. William Ruto is keen on winning legitimacy war. Who has the power? Is it Raila? Is it me? Is it Uhuru? Because locally here, they have legitimacy issues. Outside there, if Raila Odinga continued, now Ruto is the president, is telling him, it's Uhuru who appointed you in his capacity as the president. Boss, I am also kicking you out as the president of the Republic of Kenya. So the question about who has powers in Kenya after this revocation is going to be confirmed that indeed William Ruto is the president of the Republic of Kenya. He has power to hire, fire, and even do whatever he wants. Let me just read for you a bit of Raila Odinga's letter, which actually has shocked me because I don't think it was really necessary. The letter says, dated on 23rd, during our meeting on the sidelines of the 2nd Dakar African Summit, blah, blah, in Dakar, Senegal, about 3 weeks ago, I indicated the challenge to my continued availability for the role of African Union High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa. This Dakar Summit, the one he attended, was not the high-profile one, where the head of states also attended. In that regard, I welcome your quick action that will free me to pursue other pressing and urgent matters. It has been a great pleasure and honor servicing our continent and our people and addressing infrastructure development, which we agree is the greatest contributor to our unending struggle to lift ourselves out of poverty and underdevelopment. I will be indicating when I might be available for deployment on continental assignment as circumstances change. So basically, Raila Odinga is leaving out the possibility of going back to African Union assignment. I don't know what you think about it, but that's my take. Raila Odinga was kicked out by Ruto. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.